Hello, I'm Kristen Oaks-White.
And I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. A massive industrial fire in Tangipahoa Parish has multiple state and federal agencies monitoring the air, water, and soil for possible environmental impacts.
At the time we're shooting this show, the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality and Environmental Protection Agency are awaiting test results, but say air monitors are either giving non-detectable readings or levels well below health-based or actionable thresholds. Smitty's Supply in Roseland erupted in flames on Friday, August 22nd. Those flames spread through nearly 20 acres of petroleum products, storage tanks, and equipment. Not long after the fire started, oil was seen falling with the rain that afternoon, according to the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office. Baton Rouge TV station WAFB-TV reports the owners of one farm about 3 miles away say their fish are dying and their hay crop is ruined. That has not been verified by any state or federal agency as a direct cause of the fire. Louisiana Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry, Dr. Mike Strain, toured the Liuzes farm further south. He says his office will work with Louisiana Farm Bureau and the LSU Ag Center to see if there is any impact to agriculture. Louisiana farmers are nearly done harvesting corn this year. While yields seem good for most, the price is not.
Yeah, you've heard us talk about high input costs and low commodity prices here for a while, and the leading ag economist in the state says it's going to be almost impossible for any corn farmer to make a profit this year. Corn harvest is wrapping up at West Farming Partnership in Evangeline Parish. Lucas West takes a little time to inspect his combine before he cuts his last 40 acres.
Harvest was good. Weather cooperated with us for the most part. We were able to get everything out in a timely manner. So that was a big help. You know, less days of being parked and rained out.
West says corn yields were better this year over last, but making a profit remains difficult.
Everything we put into it, you know, nothing's going down. Seed, fertilizer, labor, I mean, you know, everything's the same. So we're having to, you know, cut corners here, cut corners there, and basically trying to out yield our inputs in a sense, you know, to stay alive for another year.
It's certainly a concerning situation, not only to the Louisiana corn economy, but also to the U.S.
LSU Ag Center economist Dr. Michael DiLiberto says because of low market prices, this year it's almost impossible for a farmer to yield enough corn to overcome the cost of inputs. First, let's look at the cost of production. According to DiLiberto, a hypothetical farmer in Tensas Parish in 2023 spent about $684 per acre to grow corn on non-irrigated land and about $879 an acre on irrigated land. The market price for corn was $4.55 a bushel. In 2024, the cost dropped a bit, $6.40 an acre on dry land and $8.37 an acre on irrigated land, but the price dropped as well to $4.30 a bushel. And estimated costs for this year are $6.25 an acre dry land and $8.16 on irrigated, but the price went down further to $3.90 a bushel. So while the cost of production decreased 7 to 8% over that 3-year span, the price farmers received for their corn dropped by 14%.
It's certainly an environment of tighter margins again. The alarming concern in farm country, not only in Louisiana, not only in the Mid-South, but really across the country, is we've seen 3 consecutive years of falling commodity prices. The bad news is we've seen input prices still remain relatively high, and whether that's fertilizer markets that's really driven by, you know, imported fertilizers that come out of the Middle East or that come out of Europe, certainly tariff uncertainty, you know, that's adding a new wrinkle into this environment as well.
DiLiberto says on that hypothetical farm this year, if you take last year's average yield in Tensas Parish of 194.4 bushels per acre, a farmer who owns their land breaks even on non-irrigated corn with a price of $3.22 a bushel. But on irrigated land, the break-even price is $4.20 a bushel. Now, if you make the price static at the USDA's estimate of $3.90 a bushel for 2025, that farmer's non-irrigated land must yield 160 bushels per acre to break even. But that irrigated land, because of the increased cost of production, would have to yield 209 bushels per acre for the farmer to break even.
Corn yield used to be great in Louisiana. It used to be something where that was a way to yield your way out of lower prices. Our farmers are some of the best that we have in the world here. They're very conscientious of how much money they're spending, what implements are they using, how intensely are they managing their crop. But unfortunately, the price being so low, it's not a situation where that they can just increase their yield, because commodity prices have just fallen so much just over the time since we planted the crop in late February, early March.
Louisiana farmers usually get a little more for their corn crop because they harvest early. However, according to the Louisiana Farm Bureau Marketing Association, that little bit extra called basis dropped at the beginning of harvest at the same time markets dropped, but has since risen a bit in the past 2 weeks.
After 2 years in court, the American Sugarcane League is celebrating a big win when it comes to labor. The league sued the U.S. Department of Labor in 2023 over its adverse effect wage rate rule. That rule drove up wage rates paid to H-2A guest workers, which are essential on sugarcane farms. But those higher rates crippled many sugar operations. In Louisiana, whose sugarcane crop is the largest in the country, that meant a big blow to the agriculture economy. Louisiana Farm Bureau Labor Committee Chair Katie Ramagas Nunez says the settlement will greatly help our cane farmers.
I think it gave everyone just a huge sigh of relief. Labor on most any operation is going to be the highest expense that they have. With expenses increasing for everything across the board steadily over the last few years, this was just another hit to an already bad situation. So the fact that the judge signed off on it and it is final, it just gives us all a sigh of relief that we can go back to how things were. These workers can be classified properly and be paid the wage that they're supposed to be paid.
Nearly every cane farmer in Louisiana is a member of the American Sugarcane League. If you're ready for football season, you're probably going to enjoy chips and dip at some point. Did you know that there's an easy way to make that dip at home?
Oh yeah, this week TWILA's Neil Melanson shows us a farmer who's not only growing produce, but also giving lessons on how we use agriculture every day.
The first rays of morning are gracing these okra plants in South Louisiana. They produce pretty flowers, too. While it's a beautiful scene, Sherman and Ora Jones are up early, too, tending their small farm near Gonzales. Ora says there's a lot going in this year.
We still have okra here. Tomato, cucumber, bell peppers, okra. That's what we do during the spring. So for the fall, we're getting ready to do the fall. In the fall, we're going to have cabbage, turnips, collard green, mustard green, and I think we're supposed to have some broccoli or kale. Hopefully I might give me a little spinach in.
Jones grew up in agriculture, farming with her dad. She said her siblings didn't get the bug for it, but she was hooked from childhood.
I used to tell my dad, ask my dad, isn't it time to water the garden, Daddy? And they would look at me like they were crazy, you know. But now I understand why. So that's mean I've been out there with them, you know, since the kid.
Jones doesn't just farm, she passes on that experience to others. Later that day, she's in the Ascension Parish Library showing not only how to raise plants, but how to use their products, especially her cucumber dip, which gets a lot of attention.
Like I said, you can use pails, raised beds, you can use a pot, you know, whatever you want. Get a start small. Because you start doing too much, you're going to get overwhelmed. And you're going to just let it go. You see, so no, start small. Next time you want to plant something, just add a little more to it until you have the routine and now you know what you're doing. But you can still call me.
Jones says the students she teaches are eager, but the novelty of the experience of farming can be shocking.
They're willing to learn, you know, and they got their little hand dirty. They're like, oh, my fingers. Don't worry about it. We're going to grow something from this seed. And then later, what we grow, we're going to eat it. It was amazing to them.
Jones says her love of farming comes right back to her and her family. Growing the food she eats is both healthy and cost-effective.
I try to keep it healthy, you know, not just for myself and my family, but even everybody else. It's the planet itself. Try to eat healthier.
Now, one of the services offered here at the Ascension Parish Library is a seed library where you can take home up to 10 packets of seeds per family per year to start your very own garden. As Miss Ora Jones reminds us, it all starts with farmers. Reporting from Gonzales, I'm Neil Melanson.
If you want to get seeds of your own, or if you want that recipe for cucumber dip, we'll help you out with that. Hop on over to our website at twilatv.org.
Still to come on TWILA, what do you do when you mess up on camera in a foreign country? You throw the best mistakes together and call it a blooper reel. But first,
I'm Carl Wiggers. After the break, we take you to one of the most beautiful scenes around the world, the Cliffs of Moher.
You're watching This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
We are in Ireland here at the Cliffs of Moher, where it feels literally like the end of the earth. And that's an appropriate place to be because we've reached the end of our coverage here in Ireland.
Yeah, we have spent more than a week here with Louisiana 4-H students, and in that time, students have gotten to really get out of their comfort zones, see so many different farms and cultural stops, and have an experience of a lifetime.
Things are winding down for these Louisiana 4-H kids on the Emerald Isle. The farms, the animals, the dancing, but it wasn't a vacation. They got put to work and learned not just about agriculture, but how the world works outside of their homes.
So I'll say this, and many people agree with me, 4-H has changed my life. The amount of friends I've made through 4-H is remarkable.
I really think it is important for people to step out their comfort zone so they can explore the world a little bit, so they can see what all is out there that they don't know.
You'll hear that a lot, comfort zone, when talking to these kids. 4-H not only stokes their curiosity, but it provides an avenue for them to seek more.
I was so excited whenever they gave us this opportunity because, it opened new things. I get to leave the country. It's definitely a very cool experience. I'm excited.
I can say that without 4-H, I would have never been able to come to Ireland, much less to learn about their agriculture. Learning about everything from their animal agriculture, how they grow, especially for me being a dairy showman and learning about how they do their dairy farms here, how they do their beef farms, seeing sheepdog presentations, seeing how they work with their animals has been incredible.
I never expected it because, everything with 4-H that I've done, we'll go to 4-HU, which is in Baton Rouge, just a couple hours away, but I never expected to go international with it especially.
Some of these kids are also forging lifetime friendships.
We had a 3-hour car drive to New Orleans and we didn't talk the entire time. And then when we got to the airport, we started talking.
As a homeschooler, I don't really have as many opportunities to get around and talk to people my age. It's really helped me get out there, get more comfortable with my surroundings, get more comfortable with people.
I don't normally talk to people that I don't know, and I've talked to a lot of people here, so even if I don't know their names, I still talk to them.
And that's the goal, to open up, try new things. That's the core of youth development.
I think it's always important whenever we're teaching our students and they're learning and they're ready to gain that information to show them different perspectives. So whether that be different perspectives of how their communities work or different perspectives internationally, I think that that's a great input and really makes a big difference in the way that they think about things and they're able to process things when they're able to see a different perspective.
I think it's opened their eyes to a different side of agriculture, a different side of the world, and hopefully a perspective that they'll remember for a lifetime.
Some kids came solo.
When I did travel, I always traveled with my mom, so being by myself was weird, and the plane rides were something. There was something. I think this experience so far, it's really just shown me my own sense of independence and just to enjoy myself. My comfort zone is probably way bigger now that I'm out here and having a good time.
Others came with their parents.
Well, my dad is one of my best friends and we get along really well. Sometimes he can get on my nerves, but I love him and he's really sweet and he's just really chill dad.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to share this with my dad. I think that just having him, especially at the National Stud Farm, I can ask him questions too. He's very knowledgeable, so if I didn't understand something, I'd be like, Dad, what does that mean? So I think that's really special.
But they all made an impression.
Maybe it's a trait of the people from Louisiana, but I mean, they're as we describe them as their character is so strong. They're such pleasant people, so I'd say there's great opportunities for them.
It's wonderful, yeah. We have a lot to learn
from the American kids coming here as well.
When you see your students come there with that interest and passion, it really gives you an angle of what they want to learn about.
I look forward to seeing that way down the road and see how they kind of utilize those different snippets of information and how it's just integrated into who they are as people.
Of course, one of the highlights of the trip for everyone was right here, looking over these cliffs that are awe-inspiring. It's almost impossible to take a bad photo out here, which is why everyone had their phones out.
They had to be quick because that fog rolled in fast and thick. On the way back, we got one last glimpse of that Irish agriculture with sheep and cattle grazing literally near the edge of the cliffs. Thank you guys so much and all of Louisiana 4-H for making this trip happen. I know the students loved it, we loved it, and thank you for letting us be a part and tell some of these stories.
And definitely a shout out to EF Tours, who helped put all this together, including our wonderful tour guide, Jamie King, who was with us from the beginning to the end. EF Tours was so accommodating, especially when we said we wanted to follow a group of 4-H kids across this country.
Yeah, for sure. And lastly, the kids, the students, the parents, the chaperones, all of you guys, thank you so much for letting us peek in on y'all's trip and really share some of your stories and, just be part of your lives for this past week and a little day.
One last time, signing off here in Ireland for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Josh Meeks.
And I'm Carl Wiggers. Back to you guys.
Thanks to Josh and Carl for all of the coverage from Ireland, and thanks to Louisiana 4-H for inviting them along. You can see all of their previous stories, pictures, blog posts, and even listen to a podcast about it. Go to our website at twilatv.org. Well, youth enrichment is also the theme of this next story. One family's horse farm aims to teach, develop, and inspire young minds.
It's also a story about perseverance and strength. TWILA intern Alexandra Kling takes us to Sommerview Farm in Iberville Parish.
In St. Gabriel, Sommerview Farm is the home of 30 horses dedicated for training and for show. The farm has riders in every level from beginners to seasoned champions, but it is more than a horse stable. It's a place built on love. It all started with the mother wanting to help her daughter, Brittany DeSalvo, achieve her dream of becoming a horse rider. As time went on, Brittany made many accomplishments, but she soon turned from the rider into the owner and lead trainer.
When I was 20, my mom fell on dialysis, and then she went into life support, and I immediately overnight had to take over the business. And I remember distinctly of trying to get into her passwords and I couldn't, and so I just redid everything and renamed it Sommerview.
Sommerview was not always where it is today. It took time, along with trials and errors, to build back up what had been lost.
Yes, my barn has hit the ground about 3 times from hurricanes. It has been taken where the roof was over there. I've had my entire farm, all of my clients and my employees leave twice and emptied out the whole place.
Brittany's husband, Sid Freeman, helps out on the farm with his own construction company. He helps revamp and rebuild everything up to date, but that's not all.
I like to bring them in, whether they're my horses or just a random horse off the track, and develop those horses and watch the kids develop those horses and give them a chance to do something. And we actually had real good success doing that. And some of these horses, watch them go on to win bigger things. One of my favorite horses here is probably Country Boy, a horse that I bought and sold to one of our clients here.
Sommerview offers riding lessons, boarding for horses, summer camps for kids, and many events that take place here on the farm.
We also have horse shows out here just for people first starting. The horse shows tend to be very expensive if you go out on the road, so we can do it where it keeps it affordable for our people.
Continuing her mother's legacy through the farm and growing with success, Brittany has a 4-year-old daughter who is already following into her footsteps. The lessons you will learn don't apply to horse riding only, but to daily life challenges that come your way.
What my favorite thing about horses is, it's the kind of person that it will turn you into if you let it. They will learn how to be on time, how to be organized, how to be disciplined, how to accept failure, how to pick themselves up from failure, how to care for an animal.
For This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Alexandra Kling.
You can learn more about Sommerview Farm's upcoming lessons and events on our website at twilatv.org. Well, still to come on TWILA, the coverage from Ireland has been immaculate. But that's just what we put on TV.
Yeah, after the break, we have the video Josh and Carl don't want you to see. Stay with us.
Now it's time for this week's TWILA Boost, and we know that Josh and Carl have signed off from Ireland, but we're not quite done with them yet.
Oh no, they spent nearly 2 weeks on the road looking at picture-perfect scenery, but there were plenty of less than perfect moments. Let's take a look.
3. Sorry, there's a cow over there. Okay. Got a little talking sheep over there. That's cute.
I want a new manicure after this. Okay, can we just go shopping?
Dadgummit. Don't use that blooper of me saying the F word. That's just me being a jerk. Well, I'm used to that.
You take it and you stick that in there, and okay.
It's just a little bitter than a regular apple.
I like corn salads.
I can't eat it anymore.
My phone's also in my front pocket, so that's gross. How are y'all? Now it's on the ground. Said.
I'll be Avery. All right, and we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
That's such
We'll
an
do it live.
original
We'll
joke.
do it live.
Such an original joke. What's your title?
I'm gonna mess up 3 or 4 more times. Farsley. And today we're on the northern side of No, we're not.
Ooh, that was the worst thing I've ever eaten.
I am the worst.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Definitely potato. And in this water behind us are millions of oysters waiting to be on the table. That's stupid. Welcome to Waterford, Ireland. Welcome to Waterford, Ireland. Welcome to Waterford, Ireland. Ireland. You're not allowed to mess up when we get there. Welcome to Waterford, Ireland. Down here along the southern coast. You looked at me weird when I said down. 3, 2. What am I saying? Welcome to Waterford, Ireland. Again. Exact same way. Welcome to Waterford, Ireland.
I was expecting to see a lot of people with red hair.
I'm not good at this.
I'm not either. I just pretend very well.
We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah,
we're making it up as we go.
Amateur hour over here.
I know exactly what I'm doing. I've done this a time or 2.
Okay, that was...
I made it around without stepping on the plants.
Yeah, and the plants are in my hair now.
Freaking car's coming. This is gonna be loud. I don't know if these 3 cars pass.
That's fine.
7 cars.
7 cars.
1, 2. God bless America.
I might have pooped myself. He definitely pooped himself. Golly.
Scared the lambs.
That was so unnecessary.
Thanks, TWILA.
I know we tried to soften it with Hannah at the end, but can we say pooped on TV? Is that okay?
Well, they did.
Yep.
I
It's
feel
done.
bad for the sheep, though. They're never going to be the same after that visit. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a special show commemorating the 20th anniversary of 2 storms that changed Louisiana, Hurricanes Katrina and Rita.
Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. You can find all of these stories and more on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, turn on those notifications. That way you know when we put something new out there.
For all of us here at TWILA, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.